2-2-2. Okay, few leading problems here, having come back from the new year and can't remember what. And then a laptop decided it was time to update. Managed to abort that. Hopefully we are now up and running. We have cameras in slightly different positions tonight due to some of the teething issues. So you can see we've got a lot of camera up the first baseline there, which might be zoomed in a little bit. We might zoom that out in a moment. I'll come back to that. Just getting the lineups now as well. We are here in the bottom of the first, as you can tell. We're at obviously at Springfield at our home ground. Central Coast Marlins are batting, so we're in the bottom of the first. Just to update you on the top of the first, Macarthur leadoff hitter Nick Kern was on with a walk. Chris Douglas then flied out to centre field. And then I think from memory, Randy Santiesteban hit into a double play, 4-3 double play, and the two runners were thrown out to end the first with no runs on the board. So we started the bottom of the second innings. Leadoff for the Central Coast Marlins was Jake Amos, who had it was probably an error through 6 for the first hit of the game. And then, as you just saw, probably Michael Campbell was walked. So with none out, runners on 1 and 2. Up to bat now is Damien Rutherford, who hits up the middle. Out at 2, out at 1. So Damien Rutherford hits into a double play. Jake Amos advances there over to third base. But with 2 out now, runner on third in scoring position. Up to bat now for the Central Coast Marlins is Kurt Eden.
I'm going to say that. That's why I had it there.
Fingers crossed, you are getting a reasonable picture. You are getting a reasonable sound. Let us know in the comments if something is wrong, and we'll do our best to fix it. And Mr. Jeevan, how are you this evening? And Mrs. Lowe there, I think that evens the count at 1-1, I believe. Thank you, Matt. So fingers crossed, we'll keep that going for the whole evening here. Pleasant evening. A little bit of wind, not overly hot, and that's going to fly into third ball territory, probably out of your view. But I'd say it'll be covered, which it is by third base there for the third out of the inning. So Kurt Eden flies out in foul territory there to the third baseman, leaves Jake Amos stranded up at third base. And that brings to a close the first innings with the score here remaining 0-0. The Central Coast Marlins taking the field here, and I'll just give you their defensive lineup. Behind the dish, we have Chris Ings. Up at first base, Taylor Clemencia. On second base, Kai McIntosh Walsh. Third base, Kurt Eden. Shortstop tonight is Chet Robinson. At left field, we have Jake Amos. Centre field, Michael Campbell, and right field, Damien Rutherford. And on the mound, leading off, starting pitcher for the Central Coast Marlins is Brett Allen. So quite a young side tonight. I think we have... Oh, and Tristan Watts is back in the lineup there. He's been out injured, but he's playing the DH role tonight. So 3 under-18s in the starting lineup there tonight for the Central Coast Marlins, and I'll go through the Macarthur lineup for you when they take the field. But up to bat now, I think we should have in the 4th spot Shannon Hislop. Misses outside for ball 1. And finds the bottom of the zone there to even it up at 1-1. And misses well outside there for ball 2. And that's going to fly foul over. Fortunately, missed all the cars. And that evens the count here at 2-2. If I'm not wrong, I checked the ladder before I came down. I believe this is a clash between the first place Macarthur Orioles, who are leading the first grade competition with a reasonable margin. I think they're a couple of games clear of the second place side. And I think we currently sit in about 5th or 6th spot in the first grade ladder. I think about 2 games out of the top 4 at the present time, so need to win more than we lose in the run home. Whoa, watch out there. The bat went flying into the dugout. Fortunately, no one was injured, but Shannon Hislop was struck out swinging, quite obviously. That would have been an interesting referral up to first base. Did he go in that scenario? The bat ploughed into the fence there over on the Macarthur dugout side, but fortunately no one was in its path because it was moving. So 1 away here in the top of the second. And now up to bat is the first baseman, Stephen Octave. Slide out here in to shortstop for the second out. So 2 up, 2 down so far here in the top of the second. Brings to the plate the Macarthur designated hitter this evening, Jessie Lynch. And Brett Allen starting in front on this batter with a called strike there in the inside bottom corner. This is upstairs for ball 1, 1-1. I thought they caught the zone. Slowish call there. Robbie is normally quite quick, but did find the bottom corner. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that looks like it might find the dirt there, which it will in short right field. As often happens in baseball, the dinky hits find the field. The well hit hits go straight down the throat of an outfielder. So safe hit there to Jessie Lynch. Puts a runner on first with 2 away. Brings to the plate the right fielder this evening, Mick Small. that's Pitcher's taking responsibility himself, which he does successfully. Takes the catch there on the third base line, and that retires the Macarthur side here in the top of the second with the score remaining 0-0. I just realised apologies, we haven't been operating the full scoreboard there for the first innings. My son, who will do the scoreboard, was just getting us some things set up, as I said. So we're pretty much ready to go now. So we'll start also doing the balls and strikes and outs for you there on the scoreboard in just a moment. But while we're between innings here in the second, I'll give you the Macarthur defensive lineup here this evening. Behind the dish, we have Stephen Octave. Up at first base, we have Shannon Hislop. On second base, we have Chris Douglas. Over on third base, we have Nick Byrne. At shortstop, of course, we have Randy Santi Esteban. Congratulations to Randy, who was called up for the second half of the season for the Sydney Blue Sox after Gifner Gope was injured. And from what I saw, did an excellent job up there. So congratulations to Randy, who was basically here to play with Macarthur, but got called up to the Blue Sox and did an excellent job filling in there for the former big leaguer Gifner Gope. Left field, we have Robbie Hedrick. No N there, I don't think. Robbie Hedrick. At centre field, we have Nick Dollar. And at right field, we have Mick Small. On the mound for the Macarthur Orioles this evening, the starting pitcher is Alex Cobb. And leading things off here in the bottom of the second innings for the Central Coast Marlins is the first baseman now import this year, as I said before, from the Netherlands, Taylor Clemencia. It's going to fly out there to... No, he's run out of room. It's over the fence there on the left side of the diamond. So just a foul. So that evens the count there, I think, at 1-1, I believe. And I know my other regular assistant, Kieran, my other son, just logged on and watching the stream at home. Unfortunately, no longer playing now. Studying medicine and can't get here anymore, but I think I'd rather be a doctor than a... So hopefully getting some studying now and watching the live stream. So Taylor flew out there, as you saw, to second base, I think it was. For 1 out, 1 away. Brings to the plate the catcher, Chris Ings. That just missed downstairs. Pitcher wanted it, so looked close. From Bobby Crawford towards the bottom of the zone. So a 1-0 count here on Chris Ings. And hits it straight back to the pitcher there, who'll move across and make the easy out over there at first base. So 2 away now, and we just switched that first base camera there, but it is zoomed in a little bit close, so we might just zoom that out slightly. Button on the top. Sorry, so tell me how to do it. Button on the top, right on the top, at the back. If you watch it, you'll see how it zooms out. Just zoom out a slight bit. I'll just bring it up on picture in picture there so we can have a look at it. Just out a little bit more. No one on first base. I'm just putting it in there so we can see what's going on there. We might just zoom that out a little bit up at first base. It's in. That's out. Out a bit more. Out a bit more. Out a bit more. Stop. That's perfect. In a bit more. That'll do. Thank you. You can watch our teething problems with us, but that if I can manage to switch in time, I should be able to switch up to the first base camera when there's a play at first base with a bit of luck. Finds the zone there, so I lost count. 2 balls, 1 strike. I just saw Bobby Crawford signal there. And in the batter's box is the shortstop, Chet Robinson. Breaking ball by Alex Cobb. Just misses. Broke towards the zone, didn't quite catch it. Wasn't a bad pitch though, nice shape on it. Misses downstairs there for ball 4. So base on balls there to Chet Robinson. Puts a runner up on 1. And brings to the plate as the designated hitter this evening, Tristan Watts. Again misses downstairs for ball 1. Pitcher again looked like he wanted that one. I thought that was well low from my perspective. Checks the runner over there at first. Again misses downstairs. That was a bit closer. Again, unhappy with the call. It was certainly closer than the last one, but going a little bit low. Misses downstairs. Good zoom that. And that one will find the bottom of the zone, which it does. So I think that makes it 2 balls, 1 strike here on Tristan Watts. Checks the runner. Swing and a miss there by Tristan. Evens the count at 2-2. Checks the runner again over at first. Safely back in. And that's going up the first base line. I think it's going to go foul. The runner's covering it, the right fielder is covering it, but was just unable to. So foul there up the right field line. So the count here remains 2-2. Off the bat, looked half a chance of dropping in, but continued to fade away. And runner goes, and that may find the ground. It will find the ground. No, it won't. Apologies, shortstop was quite short there, so good positioning there by shortstop. I thought it was going to find the ground between the second base and shortstop, but second base and centre field. But centre field covers it reasonably easily there. So 3 away. Brings to a close the second innings, and the score here remains 0-0. Welcome back here to the top of the third. Leading off for the Macarthur Orioles, centre fielder Nick Dollar. This is inside there for ball one. And that will be covered, I think, by Michael Campbell at Tenterfield. Yes, it will. So one away there. Now hitting for the Macarthur Orioles in the 9 hole is the left fielder, Robbie Hedrick. And that will find the dirt between third base and shortstop for a single there to Robbie Hedrick. So one out. Single there to Robbie Hedrick. Puts a runner on one. Takes us back to the top of the order. The leadoff hitter, Nick Kern. As I mentioned before, Nick was walked in the top of the first innings before we went to air. So looking here for his first hit of the night. And the first pitch strike there to Brett Allen. Count as 0-1. I thought that hit him, which it did. So hit by pitch there. So 2 at bats for Nick Kern, 3 passes to first base. So 1 out. Runners now on 1 and 2 to the plate. In the 2 hole, the second base, Chris Douglas. Misses downstairs, and the runners will go. And no throw is made. So on that wild pitch there, runners advance into scoring positions on 2 and 3. One away. Macarthur looking to plate their first run here in the top of the third. 1 out, runners in scoring position. And will that be deep enough? The ball is there to Damon Rutherford, makes the throw. Goes to third, lets the runner go home, goes to third base. The ball gets away there at third base. So both runners are going to come home, unfortunately, on that error there. So 2 runs across the plate there. On the sac fly to right field. Takes Macarthur now out to a 2-run-0 lead. So 2 away. No one on base now. To the plate, the shortstop, Randy Santiesteban. So some untidy work there by the Central Coast Marlins with the wild pitch moving the runners over. Sac fly then was quite a legitimate And a double there to Randy Santiesteban. So 2 out, runner on second. To the plate in the 4 hole, the first base, Shannon Hislop. And misses low and inside for ball 1. Central Coast Marlins looking to shut this down here with no further damage. After a bit of untidy fielding, gave up at least one of the 2 runs. And again, some untidy work there allows the runner to score. So Macarthur now go out to a 3-run-0 lead here on some untidy fielding by the Central Coast Marlins here in the top of the 3rd. As I said before, Marlins will again be looking to get out of this innings without any further damage. And again, misses outside for ball 3. So a 3-0 count here on the Macarthur batter, which is Stephen Octave. And again, that was closer, but missed inside for ball 4. So a 4-pitch walk there to Stephen Octave, and that will see a visit by Sean Smith to the mound, which I'm not surprised given what has occurred this innings. Perhaps needs to go and visit some more players than just the pitcher, the way this innings has unfolded so far, but I can imagine that talk went something like, don't worry about what's happening around you, focus on your job, don't overthrow, throw strikes, and let's get out of here. I would imagine something like that was conveyed. So 2 out, runners on 1 and 2. To the plate, the designated hitter this evening, Jessie Lynch. Again, misses. Up and in for ball 1. Oh, and there's another wild pitch. Runners again move into scoring position. So 2 away. Again, Macarthur now have runners in scoring position on second and third. So 2 balls only here on the batter. Make that 3. 3 balls only here on the batter. There is an empty base up there at first, so a walk won't score the runner, but we'll load them up here. So gets a called strike there, I'd imagine, yes. 3 balls, 1 strike now here on Jessie Lynch. Fouls one off there, which is stuck up in the fence. So takes us now to a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Runners won't be going. Bases aren't loaded. First base is vacant. And he hits one up the middle there to shortstop. Chet Robinson makes the play over to first and throws him out. So Central Coast Marlins there bring to a close the top of the third innings, but unfortunately some untidy fielding and pitching there contributed to the 3 runs to the Macarthur Orioles. A couple of errors, a couple of wild pitches, and Central Coast suddenly find themselves down here 3 runs to 0, leading it going into the bottom of the third. So just notice, though, for those who aren't watching the chat that's occurring there, Juvo just updated us there that the around the grounds, Cronulla currently leading Borco 3 runs to 1 in one of the other Wednesday night fixtures. Just while we're between innings here, we'll keep talking. We don't have many music here on the weekend, but while we've got our sponsor screen there, shout out to all our sponsors this year. As you can see there, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I think, sponsors this year, all of which have contributed to the club in different ways, and we thank each and every one of them individually for their contribution. It certainly makes life easier. Keeps the fees of players down a little bit, and also enables us to provide equipment, get the new jerseys that we've had now for a couple of seasons, and the peripheral equipment that goes with it. So try and look like the best dressed club, hopefully, in the league. But shout out to our sponsors, and in particular there, as we see, Nick and Jane's Furniture and Betting Express at Erina, our broadcast sponsor for this evening. So if you're after any furniture, I've been there several times. We suggest you get in there to Nick and Jane's Furniture, have a look at the range they've got, tell them you're involved with the Central Coast Marlins, and I'm sure they'll look after you, but they'll look after you anyway, no matter who you are. Always been good service and good price in there at Nick and Jane's Furniture there at Erina. So go on in, have a look, and I'm sure they'll look after you. Leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins in the bottom of the third innings is the second baseman, Kai McIntosh Walsh, batting the 9 hole. And fouls one down there and think into the catcher's foot. I think that might take it to 1 ball, 2 strikes, I believe. Nice pleasant evening here at Springfield. As you can see, the sun has just set, and I think they will drop into left field there. Nice dive, but no, it's past the left fielder. It's gone past him on the dive, so Kai goes to second, turns to third, pulls up. So stand-up double there to Kai McIntosh Walsh to left field. Nice effort by the left fielder there to try and make the catch, but couldn't quite get enough range on it, and with the dive, then found himself on the ground, and the ball was past him, which allowed Kai to move up to second base. So a lead-off double there to Kai McIntosh Walsh. Central Coast looking to hit back here straight away in the bottom of the third, after Macarthur plated 3 runs here in the top of the third. So that takes us back to the top of the order. The lead-off hitter for the Central Coast Marlins this evening, Jake Amos, who from memory in the first innings led off with a single. Is that correct? Yeah, so it was an error, was it? Well, he was on base, so looking to make contact here again in the bottom of the third. And a swing and a miss there. So 2 strikes now on Jake Amos. For a safe hit or minimum to move the runner over. Time called there by the hitter, which Bobby Crawford gives him. So 0-2 count here on Jake Amos. Back underway. And a swing and a miss for strike 3. So Jake Amos goes down there swinging for the first out of the innings. Brings to the plate the centre fielder, Michael Campbell, who was walked in the top of the first inning. So and there on Michael Campbell downstairs for a ball. Nice crowd here this evening at Springfield, and that's hit straight to shortstop, who throws out Kai McIntosh Walsh on second base to bring the bottom of the third innings to a close, with Central Coast Marlins unable to add to the scoreboard. So Macarthur still lead here with 3 in the books. And that's the same as the score here. Macarthur leading 3 runs to 0. We'll be back with you in just a moment. Wind's way down in the. Apologies there. I was just moving the car quickly. That was still behind us. Didn't get to move when we had the earlier teething problem. So we're here in the top of the fourth. I just missed the first out there, but I'm sure you saw it. We had the screen live. So you lead off hitter there, which was, just double check it, Mick Small, I believe. Flew out to Michael Campbell at centre field for the first out. So we have one out. And now hitting for the Macarthur Orioles is the centre fielder Nick Dollar. Hits at the shortstop there, makes the play. Cross to first, which is in time for the second out of the innings. So 2 out. And nice switch there on the cameras. Now hitting the 9 hole is the left fielder Robbie Hedrick. If I remember correctly, I think he got a single to left field in his first at bat. So 1 for 1 for this evening. And that just misses upstairs for ball 1. That one missed well outside for ball 1. Or was it ball 2? Oh. I think it might have been ball 2 there. And that misses downstairs for ball 3. So in, out, down. So we've covered 3 corners of the plate. This will either be in the zone or up. And it is in the zone. So 3 balls, 1 strike here on Robbie Hedrick. And that's to centre field, and it looks like it will find the grass, which it did. So single there to Robbie Hedrick from centre field, which I think makes him 2 for 2 for the evening in the 9 hole. And it looks like we've got the mosquitoes moving in. They're all over the here and all over the screen. Just seeking some of our sponsors' product. Runner goes, throws over, and I think the throw was in time, but it wasn't taken cleanly there at second base. So runner advances to second on the stolen base there. As I said, I think that throw might have been in time there, but unfortunately couldn't grab the ball and bring it down. And that misses upstairs. Sorry, the mic was off. Didn't know it was off. Apologies. So that takes us to the top of the order here, Nick Kern, and a 3-0 count. And just misses upstairs for ball 4. So 2 out. Runners now on 1 and 2. To the plate, second base, Chris Douglas. Inside there for ball 1. Missed up and outside there for ball 2. He quickly finds himself down on balls here again. Brett Allen on the mound. Just catch the bottom of the zone there for a called strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. Found himself in this similar position in the 3rd innings, was unable to tidy up. Some long pitches, some errors in the field, allowed the runners to advance and then ultimately score. So Central Coast looking not to repeat that dose here in the top of the 4th. There are 2 out. So again misses. So another walk there issued by Brett Allen. So 2 out. Loaded bases to the plate. I believe in someone else's shirt is the shortstop, Randy Santiesteban. Finds the bottom of the zone for a called strike. A better start here this time from Brett Allen, working from in front on this batter. And hits the batter, which will score a run. Takes Macarthur here now out to a 4-run-0 lead. And we have another visit here by Sean Smith, which I'd say this time will take the ball. I did notice someone up there earlier warming up in the bullpen. I'm not sure if it was Luke Kovac or young Ryan Hudson. I think it was one of the two. See who appears from the dugout, and it is young Ryan Hudson now to the mound for Central Coast Marlins. So one under 18 for another under 18 here. Both recently competed for New South Wales country at the National Championships in Geelong. Ryan Hudson takes the mound here with 2 out and loaded bases. Update score there in a moment. Just stepped away for a minute. Four 0. Yeah, no. Man. Where's the float? Okay.
In the draw.
Welcome back here. As we mentioned before, Ryan Hudson now on the mound for the Central Coast Marlins. 2 out, loaded bases, and that's going to go foul down the left field line. Trying to see who we have in the box here. I believe it's Shannon Hislop for the Macarthur Orioles, batting in the 4-hole. So hopefully Tim Hudson is watching online. Now that young Ryan's on the mound, and there's a line drive straight up the third base line there to Kurt Eden, who takes the catch and brings to a close the top of the 4th innings, but not before Macarthur Orioles have played one further run and now leading here 4 runs to 0. Welcome back here to the bottom of the 4th innings. Leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins is the right field tonight, I believe, Damien Rutherford. Breaking pitch finds the zone there for strike 1. Misses downstairs for a ball, so 1-1. Again, misses downstairs for ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike here on Damien Rutherford. And that one misses upstairs for ball 3. So Alex Cobb led off here with the first pitch strike, but has thrown 3 balls since then to get himself into a hole here, down 3-1. And again, misses well and truly downstairs for ball 4. So got a nice breaking ball for first pitch strike 1, but then completely lost the zone and missed by a long way on at least 3 of those 4 pitches there. So lead-off walk to Damien Rutherford. Now hitting for the Central Coast Marlins, third base, Kurt Eden. Jess misses low there for a ball. That was certainly much closer than the previous pitches. Noted, Rob. We won't bring it up then as the pitcher-in-pitcher when there's a runner there. We'll just try and switch to first base when there's a play at first base if we can press the buttons quick enough. And that time finds a zone, evens the count there at 1-1. Makes a nice play there by third base across to second base for the first out, but unable to roll the double play there. So Kurt Eden safe up on first, but on the fielder's choice. Damien Rutherford thrown out there at second for the first out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. So one away, runner on first base to the plate, the first base, Taylor Clemencia. And Taylor fouls one off there out to the left field side. So one away here in the bottom of the fourth. I believe it's a 1-1 count here on Taylor. And that one finds the way inside first base. Kurt Eden will probably round to third. No. Kurt Eden holds at second. Well, they might have got up there into the right field corner for extra base hits, but right field was not moving as quick as I thought it was, and right field was able to cut it off there before it got deep into the corner. So only a single there to Taylor Clemencia, but that does put runners on 1 and 2 here with one away. Brings to the plate the catcher, Chris Ings. And that one finds the zone for a called strike. Alex Cobb seems to have found his radar again here. Ooh, that must have just found the outside corner there for strike 2. So Chris Ings quickly finds himself in a bit of a hole here, down 0-2. And misses upstairs there for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Chris Ings. Central Coast looking to plate their first run here in the bottom of the fourth innings. And that looks like it's going to land on the grass. And Macarthur there, roll the double play, the 5-4-3 double play to close off the bottom of the fourth innings with the Central Coast Marlins still trailing here with 4 in the books, 4 runs to 0. So slight delay here in the top of the fifth as Chris Ings, the catcher, was on base at the end of the previous innings. So just taking a little bit of time to get ready there. We're good to go now. So with 4 in the books, Macarthur lead here 4-0. Leading things off here for the Macarthur Orioles is the first base, Stephen Octave. I believe Stephen is one of Macarthur's 3 imports this year, if I'm not wrong. Steve Octave on first base, Randy Sandy Esteban, of course, who is now in his second season with Macarthur, the shortstop, and I think their catcher. Stephen Octave is the catcher, so I think they're the 2 imports they have in the lineup this evening, I believe. And of course, the Central Coast import, I've said before, in their lineup this year. And that looks like it is going to be out of here. That ball has left the building over the centre field fence. So home run there, solo home run there to Stephen Octave. Takes Macarthur out to a 5-0 lead here in the top of the fifth. Brings up to the plate now the designated hitter, Jessie Lynch, who hits one straight into his foot for a foul and a painful foot. He's wearing an ankle guard, but obviously just missed the ankle guard and got him clean on the foot there. So. Sets himself and he's good to go again. Takes one inside there for a ball. And swings at a low one there. For strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Jessie Lynch. And again, swings at a low one there and goes down swinging. So young Ryan Hudson gets Jessie Lynch there with 2 breaking balls in the dirt for the first out of the innings. Run away. To the plate, the right fielder, Mick Small. And a safe hit there by Mick Small to right field. So a single there to Mick Small puts a runner up on 1 out. To the plate, centre field, Nick Dollar. Misses down low, runner stays on 1. Managed to block that ball in the dirt there. Keeps the runner up on first base. Strike there evens the count at 1-1. And that's very high in the night sky. And easily taken there by Damien Rutherford at right field. The second out of the inning, so 2 away. Here in the top of the fifth. To the plate in the 9-hole, Robbie Hedrick, who, as I mentioned before, is already 2 for 2 for this evening. So Central Coast Marlins looking here to sit him down for the first time this evening. And that looks like he's going to go 3 for 3 for this evening with a ball on the ground there to right field. So Robbie Hedrick having a night of it here. Now 3 for 3, I believe, for the evening. So 2 out. Now runners on 1 and 2, which will take us back to the top of the order for the Macarthur Orioles in the 1 slot, Nick Curran. And Ryan Hudson misses inside there for ball 1. Misses down low there for ball 2, which gets away from the catcher Chris Ings, moves the runners across into scoring position. So runners now on 2 and 3. There are 2 out. Hopefully this is not deja vu of the third innings where Macarthur were able to plate 3 runs on, which all started with a wild pitch in a similar scenario. So there's a better pitch for a counter. I think there might be 2 balls, 1 strike now on the batter, I believe. And just misses downstairs there for a ball. So 3 balls, 1 strike now here on the batter. As you can see on the screen, first base is unoccupied, so no real danger in putting the runner on here, but that will load them up here in the top of the 5th. And that is exactly what happens. Misses inside there for ball 4. Loads the bases here now with 2 out. Brings to the plate in the 2 slot, I believe, Chris Douglas. No? Different number. Maybe it's a 7. No, it looks like a 4. Anyway, it is Chris Douglas. I think the number's different to what's on the sheet, but the name's not, so we'll go with the name on the jersey. And that's hit to shortstop, makes the play over to second base, gets the runner on the fielder's choice there at second to shut down the threat there of loaded bases. So on this occasion, Central Coast Marlins do manage to get themselves out of the hole and shut down the top of the 5th innings there with no advancement to the score. Macarthur still leading here, 5 runs to 0. Welcome back here to Baseball Park Springfield, where we go now into the bottom of the fifth innings. Macarthur still leading here, 5 runs to 0. Central Coast Marlins running out of innings here, looking to peg back that gap. Still over an hour to go in the game, so we should go. I reckon we'll go to at least 8, I'd imagine, tonight, if not the 9. But I certainly want to start closing this gap now against this quite strong Macarthur lineup. Not sure who they got in the bullpen this evening to follow Alex Cobb. Who again starts there with a first pitch strike. Leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins is the shortstop, Chet Robinson. Breaking ball there second, slows up on him, makes a nice play there at second base for the first out. So 1 away. Now to the plate, the designated hitter this evening, Tristan Watts. Just misses low and inside there for ball 1. And Tristan hits one into his foot there as well for a foul. So evens the count there at 1-1. Again wearing an ankle guard and hits the other foot. It's 2 in a row, hit the ball into their foot and missed the ankle guard, both of whom were wearing one. And that misses downstairs for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike now here on Tristan. And that one misses upstairs inside for a ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now here on Tristan. And that's fouled back here into the fence in front of us. Three balls, 1 strike here on Tristan. I don't know if you heard that. Mum! That was young Lockie. Passing behind us. It wasn't 3-1, it must have been 3-2. Oh, the foul ball. Apologies there. So Tristan there goes down swinging for the second out of the innings. So 2 out. The plate now the second base this evening, Kai McIntosh Walsh. And a called first strike there, finds the inside edge of the plate. Catcher again sets up inside. Throws straight down the middle, so for strike 2. McIntosh Walsh quickly finds himself down here 0-2. And hits one up the middle there. Straight to the shortstop, makes the play over to first base for the 6-3 regulation play for the third out of the inning. So that's 5 completed here. And that is also the score. Macarthur leading here 5 runs to 0. Welcome back here to the top of the 6th innings in this midweek first grade fixture between the Central Coast Marlins and the Macarthur Orioles. Macarthur currently leading going into the top of the 6th, 5-0. And leading off and finding the dirt there out at centre field for the Macarthur Orioles. We'll get him here at second, I think, in time. Yes, it is.
Nah.
So a lead-off single there to... Don't even catch who it was leading off. It all happened so quickly. Trying to see who it was. We'll catch up with that in a moment. But anyway, a lead-off single there. Tried to turn into a double and was thrown out there by Michael Campbell with the relay from, I think it was Kai McIntosh Walsh, to second base. So 1 out. I think it might be Shannon Hislop hitting, in which case would have been Randy Sandy Esteban who was second base. I believe that is right. So that is Shannon Hislop hitting now, and looks like he will fly out here to left field. Jack Amos finding himself in a little bit of a tie. Got himself a little bit caught there out of position with his hand, and sort of had to made it look a little bit more difficult than it was, trying to cross his hands over. And I know we now have activity up in the Central Coast bullpen. I believe Parker Robinson is beginning to roll over up there in the Central Coast bullpen. And with that, young Ryan Hudson there throws a strike down the centre to the Macarthur catcher, Stephen Octave. Last at bat, hit a home run. This time he's hit over the fence again, but it's over the fence behind us for a foul. So last at bat, hit a solo home run to centre field, which was the last scoring shot of the game. And that just misses down the left field line. Rob just asked me if it's just him or the vision's gone blurry. It doesn't look blurry on our feed. Can anyone else just comment and let us know if that's the case, that it has suddenly gone blurry, although it looks a little bit... Actually, it looks to be fluctuating a little bit between clear and blurry, I think, on... Quite clear now, but it seems to have gone blurry occasionally. Clear now, I think. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, we tried to straighten that up and I couldn't get it to straighten up this evening. But, yeah, no, it looks clear. Thank you. It looks like we have some changes here for the Macarthur side going into the bottom of the 6th. Kai Hislop in for Nick Dollar. Okay, and the three of the outfielders actually have just all swapped around. I won't give their exact positions, but we still have Alex on the mound. But Kai Hislop has come into the game there for Nick Dollar. So leading things off here in the bottom of the sixth innings for the Central Coast Marlins, we go back to the top of the order. Young Jake Amos. And a breaking ball there finds the inside edge of the zone for a called strike. And that looks like it's going to go foul over on the right side there. So young Jake Amos now down 0-2. Misses upstairs there for a ball. 1-2 now on Jake Amos. And again hits one into his foot. Leaves the count there at 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that looks like it right back on the fence, but takes it inside the park. So 1 away there. So Jake Amos there managed to find the warning track, but probably about 10 metres short of the actual fence. So 1 out. To the plate, the centre fielder, Michael Campbell. This is downstairs for ball 1 on Michael Campbell. And misses outside there. Ball 2. And fouls one off there on the left side. Count now 2 balls, 1 strike here on Michael Campbell. This is downstairs there for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now here on Michael Campbell. And fouls one off in exactly the same spot as the previous strike to fill the count now. 3 balls, 2 strikes here. And that's straight line drive there, straight to second base. for the second out of the innings. So 2 out. To the plate now, the right fielder, Damien Rutherford. Misses downstairs for ball 1. That time catches the bottom of the zone. Acknowledging nod there from the pitcher. Evens the count at 1-1. And that one misses down and outside for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike now here on Damien Rutherford, looking to give the Central Coast Marlins their first base runner here in the bottom of the 6th. Misses downstairs again and outside for ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike now. And that one looks like it will be taken cleanly by second base, which it is for the 3rd out of the inning. So with that hit, brings to a close the bottom of the 6th with the Macarthur Orioles still leading here 5 runs to 0. Just while we've got a break in play, just shout out to one of our Central Coast Marlins, young Rickson Wingrove, who is suiting up this weekend in the ABL final series for the Adelaide Giants. So on behalf of the Marlins, can we congratulate Rickson on the season he's had with the Adelaide Giants, who finished, I think from memory, with the best record in the ABL and have advanced to the ABL final series up against the Melbourne Aces, and Rickson Wingrove will be representing the Philadelphia Phillies and also the Central Coast Marlins out there on the diamond for the Adelaide Giants in the ABL final series. So most of us here will probably be therefore cheering on Adelaide. I think it will be their first series in the new. Apparently, it's the first for both in the new series. So, but we'll have one of our own playing for Adelaide. We'll obviously all be cheering on Adelaide. So good luck to young Rickson there, and the Adelaide Giants in the ALB final series this weekend. ABL, sorry, I kept saying ALB. ABL final series this weekend. That brings us back here to the top of the 7th in this evening's fixture. Leading things off for the Macarthur Orioles is the designated hitter, Jessie Lynch. Shows bunt, pulls back, misses upstairs for ball 1. Jess misses inside there for ball 2. And misses inside there for ball 4. So a four pitch walk there to Jessie Lynch, leading things off here in the top of the 7th for the Macarthur Orioles. And I probably should also mention there too that young Rick Swingrove also representing his Newcastle club, which from memory is Newcastle Phoenix. In the ABL final series, where he plays his winter ball up in the Newcastle competition, at least when he's not playing in the States. Now hitting in the 7 hole for the Macarthur Orioles is Mick Small. And that's gone very high. It looks like it's going to be a play on it. There is. Shortstop makes the play. Chet Robinson takes the ball cleanly for the first out of the innings. So now hitting for the Macarthur Orioles is Kai Hislop, who came into the game there defensively in the top of this innings. And that looks like Damien Rutherford will have a play on it, which he does not cover it. So the ball drops in just inside the right field corner there for a stand-up double to Kai Hislop. The runner from 1 moves across to 3, putting runners in scoring position on 2 and 3 now with 1 out. And to the plate, in the 9 hole, Robbie Hedrick, who is 3 for 3 this evening. So only looking to stay hot here and plate those runs. Central Coast Marlins will be looking to get him out for the first time this evening here in the top of the 7th. And a ball in the dirt, but Chris Innes managed to block that one down in front of him, keep the runners where they are. And another ball in the dirt. That one's a bit closer. It does make... Actually running away there from Chris, but he managed to make a grab at it while it was moving. Keeps the runners on 2 and 3, so... Lucky there to get away with that one. Two balls here on Robbie Hedrick. So the first 3 runs had in next to score. I know there was a... and that managed to bounce over the head of Kurt Eden at third base. Can't make a play on it.
That was a bomb.
It will be scored as a safe hit, I would say. Just took a bounce he couldn't reach. So that makes Robbie Hedrick now 4 for 4 for the evening. Kieran asked about the other 2 runs. There was a home run. Solo home run, and I think just a runner on and a hit. There was nothing special about the other one. So, and then you just saw that one then, which was a hit by Robbie Hedrick up the left field line, bounced over third base's head, and scored the runner from 3. So another change on the mound here. Brian Hudson is done for the evening. And we go to another of our under 18s pitchers, Parker Robinson, now on the mound for the Central Coast Marlins. Parker, of course, represented Australia at the Under 15 World Cup. I think it was last year, from memory. Year before. also represented New South Wales country in the under-16s at the recently completed Nationals in Geelong. We're ready to go here again. In the top of the 7th, Parker Robinson taking over from Ryan Hudson on the mound for the Central Coast Marlins. We have one out. We have runners in the corners. And to the plate, we go back to the top of the order for the Macarthur Orioles with Nick Hearn. That's gone very high, straight over my head here. Gray foul. Parker Robinson checks the runner at 1 there. A little bit of an untidy throw. Nice cover there by Taylor Clemencia. Put the ball down low. And another strike there. Finds himself up here with a 0-2 count. Looking for the double play here to shut down this innings and eliminate the threat of the runner over there on third. And I think they might be out. And I was correct. Called third strike there by Bobby Crawford. Nick Kern called out on strikes there for the second out of the inning. 2 away. Now to the plate, the second baseman, Chris Douglas. So nice start there by young Parker Robinson. Nice shape there on that breaking ball too. Just misses upstairs for a ball. First ball he's thrown. 3 straight strikes there on the previous batter. And again misses downstairs. Might have been the commentator's curse there. So 2-0 count now here on Chris Douglas. And again misses by another ball. Commentator's curse is alive and well. Now finds himself down 3-0 here. And misses upstairs that time for a ball. So that loads them up here in the top of the 7th with 2 out. To the plate, the dangerous shortstop, Randy Santiesteban. And the breaking ball there misses downstairs as well. There's a swing and a miss for strike one. Evens the count here at 1-1. Top of the seventh here. Loaded bases for the Macarthur Orioles. 2 out. And again, another ball in the dirt there for a 2-1 count. Young Blake, Michael and Stacey Campbell's young daughter, walking behind us here. Going to visit the scorer's hut, sort out the scoring, make sure they don't error her dad. And there's a nice clean hit. It may be out of here. It may be taken. No, looks like that ball has left the building for as I said, a grand slam there to Randy Santiesteban. Plates 4 more runs there for the Macarthur Orioles. Takes the score now out to 10 runs to 0. Parker misses inside there for ball 1. Who we got up now? We have Shannon Hislop, of course. And that one finds the inside corner for a called strike. 1-1. Oh, we have young Stacey visiting us also now. Stacey Campbell visiting in the commentary box. And looks like a 2-2 count here on Shannon Hislop. And that one misses downstairs to take us to a full count here. 3 balls, 2 strikes now on Shannon Hislop. 2 out, no runners on, so... And hits one there out towards centre field. Michael Campbell ranging around and takes the catch. Nice range there by Michael Campbell and nice glove work in the end to pick that one out. Brings to a close the top of the 7th innings. But Macarthur Orioles there on the grand slam to Randy Santiesteban. Plate 4 further runs, taking themselves out to a 10-run to 0 lead. Marlins will need to score a run here in the bottom of the 7th in order to keep this game alive. Not yet. Well, if they don't score it, you don't need one. Back here to the bottom of the 7th innings. Macarthur with that 4-run grand slam in the top of the 7th took themselves out here to a 10-0 lead. So Central Coast Marlins need to play to run here in order to keep this game alive, or the game will end on mercy at the bottom of this inning. So leading things off here for the Central Coast Marlins is the third base, Kurt Eden. Alex Cobb here still on the mound for the Macarthur Orioles, looking to perhaps pitch a complete game. At the present time, no one has warmed up at all, I've noticed, from the Macarthur side. So and Kurt Eden there goes down swinging on 3 pitches for the first out of the inning. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th to the plate. The first base, Taylor Clemencia. And Taylor puts one down there into the right field corner. It looks like it bounced out fairly well there for the fielder, so it's a stand-up double to Taylor Clemencia. And it looks like we have a designated hitter here for the Central Coast Marlins. Jack Day is hitting for Chris Ings. So Jack Day into the game for Chris Ings. Not sure who that, if we continue then, and who's going to catch. Maybe Jake Amos even. And Jack Day takes the first pitch there for a called strike. And looks like Jack Day's going to land one there into right field. It will only be a single to Jack Day, and Taylor will only move and Taylor thrown out there at home for the second out of the inning. So looks like we may be having an early night now that we have lost the runner in scoring position. Now to the plate, the shortstop, Chet Robinson. Chet Robinson takes one there for a called strike. And Chet Robinson hits one there back to the pitcher, and that looks like it will be the end of the session. So it looks like that will be the end of the session here, with Macarthur Orioles running out victors here in the 7th innings on the Mercy rule, 10-0. Well played to both sides. Macarthur too good this evening. Well pitched to Alex Ross, who did throw, Alex Cobb, I should say, who did throw a complete game for the Macarthur side. So well done to Macarthur, who move further forward at the top of the ladder. Enjoying another great season for the Macarthur Orioles. And with that, we will call it an evening. Pack up this gear and head for home and try and with that, I bid you adieu, actually, for the season. I won't be calling on Saturday. If the game is on, as the weather forecast at the moment doesn't look the best, but if the games do go ahead, young Martin Vine will be calling the first grade game on the weekend. And I will look forward to bringing it back again next year with live streaming and looking at adding some new features such as the ability to do replays and so forth, but one step at a time. We're just learning. We're all amateurs. We're all doing this for nothing. So bit of a learning curve, but we'll see what we can do to make it bigger and better for next year. So thank you for those that have supported us this year. Hopefully you get to see the game on the weekend if the weather is kind to us. If not, we bid you adieu and look forward to seeing you all again next season. With that, good night and safe travel to the Macarthur side. Way home.